Just some disclaimer bollocks, mate. I lost some of the footage for Outward, so you may see some repeated footage. I have used some of the developer diary footage as well because I think it speaks volumes about the game. I would have took the time to go back and get more, but I wanted to get this video out ASAP because Outward is a game that needs to be talked about. Cheers. A lot of RPGs out there aren't RPGs, are they? Just because some numbers pop up when you wang someone in the bollocks doesn't make it one. So it's nice to see a game made by 10 people, which is also cheap, do role-playing better than most AAA games out there. So Outward starts you off owing a debt to your tribe. You have 5 in-game days to pay it off or else you lose your house. Alright game, some of us have enough of that in real life, no need to be so realistic. I liked how the game doesn't treat you like the chosen one destroyer of naughty people. Not only do you have a debt over your head, you're a right spod, and it's up to you to prove yourself a hero of the realm, not just get it handed to you like all the other spoilt twats in RPGs. I have seen the combat get slagged off for being clunky, but I wouldn't say that really. It's very Dark Souls-esque with light and heavy attacks, a stamina bar, but it also adds abilities and skills into the equation too. Yes, it's not as refined as other games, the hit detection can be a little wonky and the animations feel like they take a long time, but if you time your strikes right and don't get greedy, it's a fun system with more depth than I first thought. Along with the combat, you have survival elements to worry about. At first, this gave me some reservations because in most survival games you have to eat and drink every 5 seconds, leading you to wonder how your character hasn't had a massive stroke. But in Outward, it's not a constant ball ache, it feels sensible. You get hungry and thirsty once or twice a day, and food and water is easy enough to come by. You can also contract diseases and status ailments, which need to be treated in certain ways. Some, it might be as simple as resting up, and others you might need to concoct a tea or potion. Usually these kinds of systems break immersion for me, because you're contracting squirrel aids and needing sustenance far too much, but it's well balanced in Outward. The world itself might feel a bit empty for some. There is a lot of open ground, but at the same time there is so much to explore and you get a real good sense of it. There's no quest markers. In your journal it might say it's north of a certain place or just off a certain road, and it's up to you to use your scouts orienting skills. No, not the ones where you got bummed by the scout leader though. It's just immersive all round. It really feels like you're living in this world, and thankfully the environments look great. The colours really pop and the lighting looks top notch. When it's dark, it's dark. You need a lantern to see. If not, well, good luck wandering around blind. It creates a great atmosphere. The character models and animation looks, well, crap. Most of the characters look like burns victims, and the animations look very stiff. But this was made by 10 people, whereas big games have about 5,000 million people working on animations alone, so I can cut it some slack. There are some other minor presentation problems as well, with characters speaking different dialogue than what is in the text box, but it is roughly along the same line. Now, dear viewer, we come on to the biggest reason I want to wank off all 10 members of the team at the same time, and yes, the footage is not deceiving you, this game is fully split screen if you want. Sometimes split screen ends up running like Pash, or making other technical sacrifices, but in Outward, either they were so small I didn't notice, or it's a smashingly optimised game. You do need to be together to go to certain areas, which is fair enough. I mean, if you're playing a co-op game, usually it's a good idea to stick together. I've been playing it with my missus split screen mostly, and even though she is not massively into games, she's really enjoyed it too. Let's hear her opinion.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
Okay, cool, great. You can play online with your friend as well. I didn't get to try this because I don't know anyone who owns this game. Obviously they all have shit tastes. It's only 2-player co-op, which is fine. I think 4 players would make the game far too easy. In fact, playing with someone else does make it much more manageable, since you can revive each other. But death in this game isn't a straight game over. You get certain outcomes when you get knocked out. For example, you might get taken as a slave for bandits, only to make a daring escape whilst half naked, so dying can make for some great fun stories. And the game only has 1 save slot, so you have to live by your decisions. No save scumming, you dirty bastard. Overall, I think a lot of you owe it to yourselves to play Outward. It's cheap and does things better than most AAA attempts. I genuinely hope this game is successful because the team deserve the recognition and resources, though maybe their limitations is what made this game so great, who knows? Hey pal, just some info. I'm going to be doing some streaming on Monday nights from now on, around 7 PM here on YouTube. So if you're about, give it a check out, join in the fun. If not, no worries. Masquerade with the devil's grin.